let us write the client with a Python library socket for host, localhost, and port 5000. Let's write the server file. Similarly, let's import the socket. Let's do it for the localhost 127.0.0.1 12.7, like port 5000 port, right? Server. Then now in server we'll do server as socket library function with socket constructor, right? Method constructor, some pattern, right? For the TCP protocol, and socket stream. Now let us bind the server to host and port. Similarly, in client, same exercise we do. Let's create the client out of socket again. Socket, calling upon socket, init, socket stream, socket, sock stream, right? And in this line we'll try to connect to the server, right, for the given host and given port, right? Now we would like to pass a message from here to the server that we are connecting with you, right? So let's write a message. Say hello server. Our server is coming from client. Now in the client we are writing this, and in server we would print a message saying that server is now listening. Server is listening on host and port, right? And then let's do connection acceptance on server, right? And say like connected by address. From the address where it is receiving, it would print that address and say that it is connecting from that address, right? Now let's write here. So here in server we will receive a header of 10 bytes. We'll receive the header of 10 bytes. For that we'll write here program in the client with header again, right? So let's try to match the lines so that the readability is improved. Line number 15 here, we would create a custom header, custom protocol header of 10 bytes, right? Header. So essentially the header custom, right? Like customization, custom header of length of message less than 10, curly bracket close here. Let's open curly bracket here, right? For this custom header, how would it will be received? 10 bytes we are writing here, right? In this line, fetch the header 10, decode it and strip it, like strip the header, then receive the message. So first header is received, then the message is received from the connection 1024 bits. Let's decode the message that is received and print the message here. So print protocol header, first header we print, and then we would print message, right? And on connection would send a message saying message is received successfully. So let's see now how client would do to send all. So before receiving, client needs to send it, right? So we have just defined the header here. Now on the client, we would do send all. Let's again match the line numbers if possible. 18, 24, I don't know. Let's see if I go to 24. Yeah. Now this 24 send all here we are doing client. Ignore the spacing of lines in between for the moment. I'm just trying to align the correlations, right? So it's easy to read. So let's do header encoding, and next we do message also send as a encoded message. Send all header encoded, send all message encoded. Okay. And then decode. Now we are saying here, let there is receiver decodes first and then prints, and sender first encodes and then sends. Encodes and sends. The response now, message received successfully sent from connection. So in next line, what we do here, we would receive the response on the client as well, saying the same message, right? Message received is received successfully, right? And let's print that result here. So what would it say? Server response, and the same message that is received. response is received, right? So it would print that response that is sent from this interaction here. Now, so the part here, we would be closing on the connections, right? 26. So line number 26, but 24, 25, 26. So 25 there, one more line. Let's leave here 2 lines. See, client is sending the message, and here it is sending the message back server to the client. Client prints the message 29. So let's get past 29 to the 30th line. Like these line spacings doesn't matter for the compiler and coding. It is just for our understanding, okay? Connection dot close on line 30 we would do, and then server dot close we would do. Now similarly, what can we do on the client? Once it does its operation, we just need to close on it. So let's do one more spacing here so that line numbers again match. So simply client dot close. See, now we can reverse, go in the reverse direction as well now. So client close, we are doing closure here. Here also we are doing connection closure and server closure, right? Now let's, from top to bottom we understand. For the Python library socket, we define the host and port as a local host 12.7.0.1 and port as 5000, and then we define our client here with same content, right? Socket.socket, like a constructor, parameterized constructor, following a design pattern principle, right? INET for TCP protocol, sock stream here, and then we bind the host and port here and start listening, right? And here we start listening, and here we try to connect to where we are listening, right? So it starts listening first, and then the client connects. So both connect at the same host, both connect at the same port, but listening is happening at the server. This is what we try to understand here. And if it is so happening, then our connection should fall behind the line number 8. So say here it start listening at line 8, then just for understanding purpose, again we are adding spacing, understand this, okay? And then we say, yeah, the server started listening now, right? So let's give a few more spaces of lines here, right? And yeah, so now server starts accepting the connections, and as and when this happens here, client sends all. So this happens here after connection. So let us bunch these together now. We'll try to make sure. So here it connects by, and it says connected by. So then again it says connected by. So this needs to go again further down the hierarchy. If we try to understand this, see, right here it starts listening, and then we connect here, and when we connect here, then it says connected by. So it prints here server dot start accepting connections. So let us move this line again. In here, in between these 2 lines, it needs to come. Understanding now how it is happening? We create the objects, server client objects. Server starts listening and notifies us that I started listening, and then it start accepting the connections. Client just connects, and once it connects, we print the connected address here, connected by this address, that is this host address. And then next instruction is to just pass the message now. Create a message and create a header and pass both. So say again we match the lines now. 17 lines we match. Okay. And so client sends the message, and when client sends a message, yeah, here we are saying length of the header, defining the header and passing the header. And okay, so header is sent from here, header is received here, line number 22. So let's do this like this. 22, right? So 22 header is sent from here and header is received here. So one more spacing here, two more spacing. So now the message is like defined, it's conceived, it's imagined, it's applied the message here, and then the header of some length is again defined here and it's sent. So it's defined and it's sent, message is defined and message is sent, right? And on the server side, the header is received and the message is received. Okay. So here we see message and headers being passed from the client. And once the message is passed, after that, from top to bottom if you navigate, the header is received and the message is received. And then it prints the message, right? And once it prints the message, it acknowledges that, yeah, I received a message, and it sends again one message back to the client. Now we see here how the flow is happening, right? The client sends the message is received then in the header, and then the server also sends back the message is received successfully to the client receives that message and says server response, I got this, and it closes on the connection, and then server also closes on the connection, client closes connection, server again closes connection. So far so good. So we have started the server on this host 12.7.0.1 for the port 5000. Now for python 3 client.py, let's execute the program, right? Let's keep the closure like this again, maybe, right? Wait, let's align them here like this, right? So server is listening, and now just client does its handshake. So if we assess the server response, message is received successfully from server is passed to the client and it's printed here, and then the connections are closed, right? And if we navigate back to the top and try to understand the workflow, when server starts, it starts listening right here and acknowledges that I am starting listening, and then client, when we execute, it does this activity here. So in time, server first starts listening and client then starts connecting to the server for the shared host and shared port, and the same shared host and same port. Now message and headers are encoded and passed to the client here, right? And so it notifies us that it is connected by the address localhost and at some port. Protocol, then header is print and the message is print. Custom protocol header, right? Length of the message is being print. So it can be a region also. Region as in Central India, Central US, Central UK, right? Why? Because then we can assess the regional traffic in the monitoring dashboards of infrastructure monitoring workflows. So cool.